Hey everybody, Alien X Gaming here with another interview of one of my favorite YouTubers. Tonight I've got Team Skeptic. How you doing there today, team?
Yo, what up? What up? What up?
Thank you for
Doing
taking the
good.
time and coming out and doing this. Hopefully this will let people get a little bit of a peek inside of your head. Learn a little bit more about you. To see who they're supporting, who they're watching. You know what I mean? So
Oh yeah.
I've got a couple
Stay
of.
away from the inside of my head though, because it's a scary, scary place.
We'll try not to dig too deep. Um, but I got some questions. Um, are you ready to start?
Oh yeah. Let's get this shit rolling.
All right, here we go. First and foremost, why did you choose Team Skeptic as your name?
Well, I've told this story before. When I first started out on my quest of YouTube, I guess, I had the very first video I did was with the Lego Superman avatar. And I did a few videos after that where I changed up the avatar a little bit. I used Captain America, Hulk, Batman, and a few of they were all supposed to represent a different side of me. So I was gonna do the Superman, the Globe Man, as for my Flat Earth content.
Hmm.
And I just stuck with Flat Earth, so I never really had a need for the other avatars. I started out as Father Skeptic, but some people were like, that's a bit weird calling you Father Skeptic. So I was like, okay, okay. Team Skeptic then. And they're
Well,
like, but there's only one person. I'm like, multiple personalities though.
all right, I get it. That's awesome. Um, where are you from?
Dallas, Texas.
Excellent.
Born and raised. Love this place.
All right, not too far from a couple other tubers, so that's very cool.
Oh
And
yeah, Johnny O in the plot hole and Arn Ra. In fact, all
uh,
of those people are. I mean,
JL.
Johnny O, J.L. Warren. Yeah, Johnny O, J.L. Warren, and Arn Ra are all from Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Had a chance to meet all of them too. They're all fucking good people.
That's awesome. That's really cool. Um, okay, can I ask how old you are?
Old enough to party.
Excellent. Um, I've only on one of your streams I saw you had a call from a brother. How many siblings do you have?
A lot. I have. Let's see, four brothers, a half brother, two of them named Jason. Um, two sisters and a cousin that I consider a brother.
Awesome. Very cool, man. Um, let's see here. Are you married and have kids?
No, no, not married. Have kids, yes. I have a leech.
Excellent.
He lives with me, so and
Fair enough.
I love him to death. Yeah, I spoil the shit out of him. I spoil the shit out of him because I call him things like a leech. So to make up for that, I just spoil the shit out of him.
Cool. And I've also seen a couple times you have a cat floating around somewhere. How many pets do you have?
Yeah, yeah. I have a dog and a cat. My dog is about 10 or 11 years old. He's a pit bull.
Eh?
Amazing, amazing dog. Love him to death.
Oh yeah.
And then I rescued a cat off of my porch about 7 months ago, 8 months ago.
Okay.
And she's been such a beautiful addition to my life.
Did
Another child.
did you rescue her from your pit bull or no?
No, from my porch, from my porch.
No, I know.
So I came home. No, no, no. I came home one night and I was walking around to the front door, which I normally don't do. I don't even know why I did that. Well, okay. So the story starts out 2 days prior to that. I was walking up from checking the mail and I just hear this like kitten purring noise. And not even purring, but like a meow, like meow, meow. But you could tell it was a kitten.
Okay.
So I went in there and got my kid and I said, "Hey, come help me find this cat out in the yard, because it sounds young, and I want to make sure that it's okay." And we couldn't find her. One day I come home and I'm walking around to the front door, which I never do. I always go through my garage. Um, and she scared the shit out of me because I had the overhead light on above my porch, and as I come around the corner, she sees me and jumps like 4 feet in the air, lands and just takes off. I jump about 3 feet in the air, land and take off. And then I was like, what the hell was that? Was that like some kind of rat or raccoon or something? Turns out it was the kitten, and she was eating June bugs, like
Oh,
little bugs that were on the ground. Yeah, so um I kind of snuck up on her and watched her for a minute to make sure that, that I wasn't trying to capture a rat to bring it in. But the original idea was just to take her in, make sure she was healthy, and find her a home. But just taking her in, she found a home right here. And I think we both have benefited from it. She's been,
mhm.
a really positive support for me during this COVID time. Uh, oh no, very affectionate. She's been very affectionate to me and my kid, but to no one else. She just hates people, but she loves me and my kid though.
That's a great story,
And
man.
she's a runt. She looks like she's a
Is she?
runt. So
That's
got,
amazing, dude. Very, very
got
cool.
to look out for the little kitties.
Let's see. What kind of car do you drive?
Uh, I have a six-cylinder Toyota Camry,
All right. You ever get that alternator
red.
fixed up or what?
Yeah, I think was it the alternator that went? Yeah, it was the alternator that went out. That thing cost me some money.
Oh, I don't
Like I
doubt it.
never thought an alternator would cost as much as it did to put in. I put in plenty of them in my life. I just didn't have the tools. Looking back on it, I'm glad I didn't because it was a lot more than I thought it would be,
Hmm.
which is why the labor on it is so high.
Yeah, I think you have
But
to remove the radiator on that one. It's yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm not, there were some parts that needed to come off though, 100%. And I was like, yeah, you just do it, man.
Well, if only you were closer, you could have taken it to my shop. But it is what it is. Um, let's see. What kind of music do you like to listen to?
I don't. I don't listen to music.
Wow.
Music's garbage. I spend my time trying to educate myself, my free time. If
Okay.
I've got 5 minutes to listen to some song that I've heard 1,000 times already, then I have 5 minutes to learn some new topic in science.
Very cool. All right. Let's see. What was your first job?
Ooh, first job. Worked at a pet store.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my first job at a pet store.
Okay. Let's see. Do you do YouTube full time, or do you actually have a regular job?
No, this is me full time. I do live streams, gaming streams, created content, all of it. It's all
Hmm.
me.
That's awesome. So, let's see. Do you have any hobbies aside from learning about science? I guess that's kind of a
Hmm. Hobbies other than learning about science. Well, some would say that I turned my hobby of being a YouTuber into a full-time job, so I still consider it a hobby. I still love it like it's a hobby. So that would be my one thing. But hobbies, probably playing video games. I mean, if I have to, if I have to make that a hobby. I
mm,
don't like to think of playing video games as a hobby, but anybody that knows me would probably say, yeah, you play video games as a hobby because I play all the time and it, I don't know. I don't know. I would have to say playing video games. Yeah.
okay.
I consider it a hobby,
All right.
even though I don't do a lot of collecting or anything like that.
Hmm.
So,
That works. And you guys can also catch Team Skeptic's After Dark channel. So I'll have a link in the
Team
description.
Skeptic After Dark. Whoop, whoop.
Okay, so let's see. Did you play any sports when you were growing up, or currently play any sports or anything?
Yeah, growing up, I played soccer. For the UK folk, that would be football. But I played soccer growing up. I was really good at it,
Hmm.
although my FIFA skills suck. ask Simon and Dan about that. But I am really good at actual like IRL soccer, kicking an actual ball. I can do that.
Okay, very cool. Let's see. Do you ever have time to travel?
I used to travel all the time. I
Okay,
don't travel anymore because of COVID, but
sure.
and I haven't really traveled anywhere in the past maybe 5 years because I was running my own business prior to doing YouTube full time. I owned my own business, so it was I didn't have a lot of free time to do traveling. Like I was open 6 days a week, and I would work open to close. I was the only employee for, well, I guess I had a personal assistant, but she really assisted me while I worked full time. So
Mm,
I didn't really ask her to do too much of the helping out with customers and stuff like that.
gotcha. Okay. What would be a favorite vacation spot from either the younger years or nowadays?
Bariloche, Argentina.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Let's see. What would be your favorite food? And please don't say meat tubes.
No, I mean, if you ask me what I eat the most of, it's meat tubes. But um, favorite foods? A Wagyu burger.
Wagyu burger. Okay.
Wagyu burger, yeah.
What is a
Wagyu.
what would be a Wagyu burger?
Well, Wagyu is a type of cow that's
Is that the Japanese steak or whatever?
yes, it's the Japanese it's the Kobe beef cows that were raised here in America.
Wow.
So they're not really technically Kobe beef, but they're a little bit higher quality. So I used to have this place that when I had my own business, I had this place that was like right across the street from my business, and every Tuesday night they would do Wagyu burger night. So every Tuesday I knew exactly what I was eating. I mean, 100%. There was not, the burgers were thick, like 2/3 of a pound. Um, I would have them put like 20 slices of bacon on it, mustard, pickles, jalapenos, lettuce, tomatoes. God, I want one right now. I
Sorry.
really, really, really want one now.
Oh man, that does sound pretty damn good though, man.
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's so tender.
I watched a video the other day about when they were grilling one, and I was like, okay, it just looks a little different because the marbling is obviously different, but yeah, just pretty damn cool. All right. Anyway, let's see here. Can you tell us anything about your time in the military?
Yeah, I loved it. I had the easiest job in the military, electronics technician. I mean, I got to learn a lot of cool stuff. I got to see a lot of really cool stuff because of where I was stationed, but um I loved it. I had a blast. I was very self-confident, so going through boot camp was nothing for me. They gave me leadership roles and stuff and said, you know, I one time asked the guy, why do you take it easier on us? And that which I was talking about the leadership people like the XOCO and I can't remember what we called our, like, we had three other lead. I can't remember what they call them, but anyway, there was like these 8 people who were assigned leadership roles that, you were in control of a certain number of recruits underneath you, and you're responsible for them making their bed right, all kinds of stuff. You were just responsible for that. So I, uh, I one time asked the guy, I said, "Why are you harder on those guys than you are on us? It's kind of like you take us all pretty light. You're always talking. They would always talk to us as if we were people, and then always talk to the other people like they were different."
Hmm.
And he told me, he said, "Because you guys don't need it. Those guys out there, they don't have the self-confidence needed to be successful in the military. You do. You guys do." And then you look at it and you're like, "Oh, well, yeah, I guess you're right." 3 of the people that were in leadership roles were ex-military, whether they were going from Marines to Navy or had gone through the boot camp and got hurt and had to go, wait till they heal to go back through it. All of us had like some kind of quality about us that they didn't feel like we needed to have the same dressing down as the other guys did. And the other guys, they needed it. I mean, to be honest, there's a lot of people join the military because they have no other option. Like that's
Sure.
pretty much my brother. My brother when he got out of my brother, the funny thing about him was before okay, so when he joined, there wasn't a need for service members. So they were able to excuse me, they were able to turn people away.
Hmm.
And so one of the qualifying factors to turn people away was a high school diploma. And my brother, he's not dumb, but he just didn't care. He just didn't give a shit about school. So he just, when it all came down to it, he was like, "Look, I'm gonna go into the Navy." They said, "Okay, where's your high school graduate certificate or whatever diploma?" I said, "I don't have one." So they went and put him in a school where the credits that he already had were qualifying him to graduate. So they threw him in a school just to get a graduation certificate. I thought it was pretty funny at the time. But I never had that problem. Like for my brother, he wouldn't have been in a leadership position. They would have had him, yelling at him, screaming at him, trying to break him down to build him back up and be a stronger person than what he was. But for me, they didn't need to, so they didn't waste their time with it.
Cool. How long did you serve?
I was in for 2 years before I got hurt. And when I got hurt, I was out pretty quick after I got hurt.
How'd you get hurt?
Uh, just doing some training. I was doing some extra training, and aside from like, it was after my boot camp, and I went off to what's called C school. You go to A school in the military, and then A school is like a general school, and then you go to C school to get rated in a certain rating, And so I went to a C school. From there, I went to the desert, to the middle of the Mojave Desert, and out there I was doing some extra training out in um like the hills and stuff in the desert. And I hurt my hip, and I couldn't understand, like, I didn't do anything to hurt it. I just started hurting. It felt like it was popping in and out of place.
Hmm.
And part of what I was doing, I had to go see a dive physical doctor. They call them dive doctors. But it's just a doctor to give you what's called a dive physical. And excuse me, sorry, my allergies and sinuses are horrible right now.
No worries.
But when I went to go see the doctor, he said, first thing he said was, "Well, you got to get out. You have this condition. We found a condition in you that we didn't know before. You've definitely hurt yourself doing, military stuff. So you need to get out. Get out now." And then, of course, I joined the military for a very, very specific purpose, and they were taking that purpose away from me. So I turn around and I go and I start the getting out process, and I go back to the doctor, and the doctor's like, I'd already talked to the VA people. The VA people were like, "You get paid for the rest of your life. Look at this as a blessing." So I go back to see the doctor for a follow up, and the doctor tells me, he's like, "Hey, I'll write you a certificate, or not a certificate, a waiver, a waiver to stay in if you really want to." Because when he told me I was getting out, I was like, "I don't want to get out. I want to
Hmm.
stay in. What do I do? How can I get beyond this?" And he was like, "There's nothing you can do to get beyond this.
Hmm.
You're just gonna have to get out." And then when I came back, he was like, "Okay, so I talked to this doctor, and they said as long as you sign this waiver saying you'll never make a medical claim against the military, then you can stay in." And I was like, "Yeah, okay." I was like,
Mm-hmm.
"No, thank you. I'll be getting out and getting paid. Thank you very much." Which was a good decision, because if I'd have stayed in, I would have just stayed for another 2 years, and then I wouldn't have gotten my disability checks at all.
Hmm.
And now that I'm older, I start to, every so often, I feel a little bit more than I did when I was younger. So I'm glad I got out, because now that money does help towards compensating for medicine and going to the doctor and all these other lovely things that I'm doing now that I'm old enough to party.
Fair enough, man. All right. Yeah, thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah.
That was cool, man. Um, what kind of educational background do you have?
Educational background. Well, I didn't try at all in high school, and I still passed straight A's. Uh, I had no effort whatsoever. It was just so simple to me. It's common sense. And then I went to college, and I did 2 years in college before I went and joined the military. So I went to University of Texas, um, took astronomy, physics. I was double majoring in math and computer science. So I took a basic, I don't know what to call it. It wasn't a programming thing. It was kind of like a history of electronics, history of science course. But it was necessary for my computer science degree.
Hmm.
And then I took a couple of literature courses, but just to get those out of the way. Most of my courses in my 2 years were math and science only. So now, when I went into the military, of course, I went into something that used both math and science, which is electronics. And from there, when I got out, I eventually ended up doing YouTube talking about science and math and my love for them.
All right, that's cool. Um, let's see. What is your favorite content that you watch when you have free time?
Oh man, I watch so much YouTube. I'm addicted to the commentary channels. Augie RFC, Tipster, Bo Blacks, John Swan. I was just in John Swan's live chat earlier, and I don't even get down on their content. Like, I just like drama, so I like to see when they talk about the drama between two creators or Twitter drama or anything like that. I watch that um, as my one of my guilty pleasures, I guess. I watch a lot of Star Wars lore, like Star Wars theory, Star Wars reading club, Star Wars comic books, and all of those are YouTube channels. Like, not just I'm not just saying Star Wars plus something else. They're all actual YouTube channels that I do watch.
Okay.
Generation Tech, I like those guys. Those guys are pretty funny.
All right. Let's see here. When did you first start creating content on YouTube?
Almost 3 years ago. Let's see, we have February 9th, I think was my first video. I think I started my channel on January 31st, and I put out one video, but I didn't like it, so I just deleted it. And then I put out my next first video, my real first video. Like, I didn't even publish the first one. I just uploaded it, watched it, and was like, if I'm gonna make it, I gotta do better than that. So I put that video aside and then did a Delano TV video, and it was my first Flat Earth video.
Okay. So you started with flat Earth content?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Did almost pure Flat Earth for 2 years.
Okay.
Maybe a little more, maybe like 2.5 years.
All right. Who was your largest influence in, while deciding what kind of content you were going to create?
Nobody.
Okay.
Nobody. I honestly, if I had to thank one person, it would be Nathan Thompson. Because the only reason I'm on YouTube was because they had deleted me from their Facebook group. So I go on to, so okay, so I'm working. I told you I had a personal assistant. My personal assistant knew Nathan Thompson personally. Um, so she was like, you ought to get in, or I said something about the earth being flat, because I saw this meme, and it's the meme that everybody saw with the tennis ball spinning and the water flying off. And I was like, for about 5 seconds max, I was like, damn, they got a good point. I was like, let me think about this for a second. I was like, oh, no shit, angular momentum. That's basically how it came to be. Excuse me, this was a little more than 3 years ago at this point. Right around Christmas of 2017, I think, is when I finally joined up with their group, and I was just having conversation. Like, people would say something, and I'd say, "Well, what about this?" what about this science experiment that they did? And of course, I called every name in the book because no matter what it said, Globe Earth and Flat Earth discussion group, it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was a flat Earth echo chamber, you know. Uh, so I got deleted for talking about gyroscopes, and I was trying to tell them that, I used to work on gyroscopes in the military, and that we didn't work on when I said something about a gyroscope, and he's like, no, gyroscopes hold their position in space. Everybody knows that. You're about to get banned for lying. And I was like,
Hmm.
I literally tried to type in there, okay, you're right. I'm not actually talking about gyroscopes. I'm talking about a gyroscopic module, which in the military, you don't really replace a part. You replace a module, and the module has individual parts in it. And then you just take and you you take that back to your workbench and you troubleshoot which part it was.
Hmm.
But I wasn't an aviation technician or aviation electronics technician. I was just an electronics technician. So my work was very limited as to what I could do with airplanes. Like I could test inputs and outputs to make sure voltages were the same or were within standards and whatnot. I could do that, but I didn't particularly work on these modules myself. If we had one that failed, we would give it back. And there were certain things you could test on it. And one of the things you could test was to make sure that down was down, like when you fly a plane over a curve, the gyroscope tends to want to hold its position in space, so it should rotate. Flat earthers are right about that. But then they don't take into consideration that all gyroscopes on planes have mechanisms built into them to actually reset the gyroscope if it gets too out of line. It's I think they're called pendulous vanes. At least for the mechanical gyroscopes, they're called pendulous vanes. So they kicked me out of the group and I was pissed off. The one guy wrote me a letter or wrote me a message on Facebook, and I was like, yeah. I was like, whether you kick me out of your Facebook group or not, I don't care. I'm starting my own YouTube channel. You can't stop me from doing that. So I went and I started my own YouTube channel and started putting out videos, and I was very angry at the time. Now I'm very cool. Now I have a good time with it. But if you go back and listen to my first videos, I'm like, the number one proof that the earth is not flat is that you are a fucking idiot. Like I'm so like angry in the conversation, which I shouldn't have been. I mean, it's just me having fun. But um that it took me maybe a month or 2 months to get to 1,000 subscribers. Um my videos weren't taking off. It was a very long and strenuous process, but anybody can just keep their head to the ground and keep going.
Hmm.
You'll eventually get.
I hope so.
Sorry,
That'd be cool.
I can hear my kid yelling in the background right now. He's playing video games.
Yeah, no worries. Okay, let's see here. We got a few more. Let's see. What is your favorite content to create? Because I know that you're moving away as far as you can from flat Earth debates right now, and I've seen a lot
Yeah.
of the Karen stuff you've been putting out. Now, is that your favorite type of content to create now?
I don't really have a favorite content to create. If I really just don't have something I could call my favorite content to create.
Okay.
I have content I like to create. I mean, I like to create content that pushes me intellectually. So by default, I don't like doing flat Earth content. Flat Earth content is just it's boring to me.
Mm.
There's no real science behind. There's no real science to argue. There's not a the shape of the Earth is an objective fact. So when you say something is an objective fact, that means there is no room for interpretation. If I hold a pen up, if you and I are in person, and I give you a pen and you look at that pen, well, that pen is an objective fact, something I just gave you.
Mm.
We can both agree on it. There's no interpretation of whether or not I handed you that pen. It's objective. There's a lot of science out there that, like quantum mechanics. That's one of the things that really piqued my interest about quantum mechanics is that there's different interpretations um, to what people believe the objective truth to be. So it makes, like for instance, you have many worlds where it's just, multiple wave functions that are running at the same time. And then you have Copenhagen interpretation, which says, oh, the wave function just collapses on its own, and that's why we have the results that we have. But the thing they don't argue about is the results. They interpret how that they're getting from the start to the finish, how the results came to be, but there's an interpretation there. There's nothing to say that one person's viewpoint is objectively true and the other person's viewpoint is objectively false. Um, so things like that, debates like that, especially science debates like that, they really pique my interest. I pay attention to those.
Cool.
Flat Earth doesn't. Flat Earth just doesn't push me. And the people are vile. These people are like horrible people.
Yeah.
They say the worst things that you think, you would think there going to be people out there that say, oh, Skeptic's a hypocrite. Listen to his videos. He doesn't do anything but call people idiots. That's like the limit of my evilness. I call you an idiot because you said something stupid.
Mm-hmm.
These people are calling people pedophiles and all this other shit that's nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no basis for it, and it's the most evil thing they can say. No wonder they're flat earthers. No wonder they're all by themselves. No wonder they only find solace in people that are like-minded to them.
Mm-hmm.
I have friends that don't think anything like me, but they're not vile. They're not horrible people. So they're still my friends.
Well, that is true. There's just been a couple of real pieces of shit that I've seen out there, and yeah, it's starting to get to the point where everything is just repeated nonsense, and it's just.
And the other thing is that I felt myself arguing with these people repetitively, with people I find to be horrible people, horrible human beings. But yet I'm spending my days and nights arguing with them. I was like, yeah, I'm done with that.
Yep.
Just done.
All right.
I'll still talk flat Earth. I'll still cover flat Earth videos. I'll still, talk shit about flat Earthers. They're idiots.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I haven't changed my mind about that. I just, the COVID-19 denialism and, anti-vaxxers, they actually offer a real danger to our society in general.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, the Karens still don't push me mentally, but at the same time, there's a reason why I pick up that fight.
Mm-hmm. All right. Do you have a favorite YouTuber to create content with?
To create content with?
Or
no, I'm
previous?
Pretty much only solo shit. I've had a few videos that I've brought people on for. Pretty much only solo shit for me.
All right.
It's always been that way. I think I like doing that because when you watch my video, that's me that's talking to you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a writer. I don't have a producer. I don't have an editor. I do everything myself. So the whole production from start to finish is a Team Skeptic production. And I think people enjoy that, Like if I had a new person on my video every single day, like, hey, come do a collaboration with me, it would get, it would get really boring. I wouldn't even enjoy watching my own videos because I'd go back and know I'm watching somebody else's video.
Gotcha. Okay. I was asked by somebody to ask you this question. We'll see if you have an answer for it. So, for the longest time, you always used a Lego avatar when you created content. What made you start using your cam? I think they worded it, why did you reveal your face? But
yeah, no, so the face reveal was something I always wanted to do, but I was a bit self-conscious about it. So, one day I said, you know what? I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to go on camera. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, I can always go back to being the avatar. But there's too many people out there that I think that don't take full potential or full advantage of their potential, and they still stay behind the avatar. And that's fine. I know some people have identities to protect. A lot of superheroes out there care about their daytime job. I don't blame them. I've already seen what can happen when someone gets your job and they contact your job.
Mm.
I've seen what can happen, and it's, horrible. So I don't think that everybody should do it just because. But when I left my job, well, I didn't leave it. I just stopped doing it because it was my business. So when I stopped doing it, it's like the business shut down because I stopped. I just didn't want to do it anymore. But when I stopped, I was like, I really thought the way to make this a profession is going to be to take myself seriously and to do things like face reveals. Because the face reveal was something that was eventually going to happen. I'm not scared, or anything like that. I actually used to do music. So I was always on stage. Being in front of an audience or even having a microphone in front of me, that doesn't bother me, like not even one bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I just thought it was time. I thought it was time. Best decision I made for sure was to go on camera. I instantly started having more interactions with my videos. Had a good subscriber growth when I first went on camera. And, I still always have that ability to head back over to the avatar. I have an actual talking avatar also.
Hmm. All right. And I mean, look at where you've gotten now. I mean, now you've got the special lighting behind you and all that stuff like that. And it's better to be able to watch you while we're watching your videos and stuff like that, or being on live stream. Just there's always better to have like a face to the voice. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%.
So,
I agree.
all right. I've only got one more real question for you. Do you have any specials coming up that we should be looking forward to?
Uh, I'm always hesitant to announce future stuff because, when if it doesn't happen, then you look at like an idiot.
Mm.
But since you had Aaron Raw, and I'm supposed to be doing something with Aaron Raw, I've kind of dropped the ball on that. I need to get back in touch with him. Of course, it was over the holidays we were talking about this. But him and I are supposed to have a collaboration on two videos, one on his channel and one on mine. So I need to get back in touch with him. I had family get sick.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I lost somebody to COVID at the beginning of the year. And my January was just so slow for me because of a lot of the shit that I had to deal with
Mm-hmm.
on the family front. I mean, my family's cool and everything, but just the whole being sick, uh, it's not a good thing. Not a good thing at all.
Mm-hmm.
And it took a emotional and physical toll on me. I mean, I've been tired as fuck ever since, pretty much the end of Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I went through all kinds of crap getting through Christmas. I spent thousands of dollars on my son. Spoiled the shit out of that leech. Uh, and then, my whole family got sick, and then we had the death in the family. And that was we're talking about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
when all this went down. So it's still kind of fresh, still, even to this day. Um, but I needed to get back up and get back on the horse.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully me and Aaron will still do that interview. But I mean, not the interview, but the collaboration. But at
Yeah.
the same time, if we don't, it's okay because I have like what I want him to collaborate on for me. He doesn't need, or I don't need his help. And what he has asked me to help him on, he doesn't need my help. We're just kind of doing it to help each other out.
Okay.
And it's a good thing. Aaron's a cool dude. I've met him in person. Very cool dude. Very big man, size wise,
All
like a
right.
fucking like a fucking grizzly bear.
You know, I no, never mind. There was a question I asked him after I was done interviewing off cam, and it was hilarious. It was the answer that I thought, but yeah, it was funny as hell to me. So, Do you want to talk about anything on your Team Skeptic After Dark channel?
No, that's just my bullshit channel. That's where I go to stop being Team Skeptic, at least for a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
be more me on that channel. Of course, I have Bella Charge and Dark Light that are, pretty much always playing with me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, those guys are amazing. I'm
Yeah.
really lucky to have them as friends, to
I
be
think
honest.
did they teach you everything that you know on Warzone?
No, no, no.
No, that's awesome. I love popping in there and just saying some stupid shit, and then usually taking off. But
It's always the best. It's always the best to have the random troll just stop by to let you know he cares about you. He's still trolling.
eh, we got it. Can't let the YouTuber's head get too big. You know what I mean? So no. Well, I really do appreciate you coming out and doing this with me. Hopefully, your
Yeah.
fans they'll know a little bit more about you, and keep supporting you and watching your stuff. I mean, the stuff you come out with it's amazing. So, you know,
Well, thank you.
I appreciate everything that you do, and I'm a, a supporter. So, um,
Oh yeah, 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 very much, and I appreciate that more than anything in the world, man. It means a lot.
no worries, man. I'm glad to do it. Um, anyway, anybody that's seen this, if you guys liked it, please like and subscribe to my channel here for some more interviews I got coming up in the future.
Give it that
Um,
thumbs up, people. Give it the thumbs up.
please, please. No. But until
Share,
next time,
like, comment, and subscribe.
there you go. I'll have links to Team Skeptic's channel down in the description, as well as his Warzone, or I'm sorry, his After Dark channel. So go check him out. Give him some shit. He usually has Chatbot Lady on, so he does hear your comments.
Trolls are welcome on my gaming channel. Trolls are welcome. They can come in there and give me shit all they want, talk all the shit they want,
It's pretty
and
funny.
I'll still be okay.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate you guys taking the time. Until next time, stay safe, and thank you again.